Hello, everybody. It's Paul Thorn. This is another episode of Lagunitas Tales and Ales, and I'm very happy to have a great singer-songwriter as my guest today, Will Hoge. How are you, sir?
So well. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man.
Good.
What's been going on with you?
You know, nothing. There's nothing happening here this week. It's been
Nothing?
real slow. Yeah, there's just nothing going on at all.
Well, I'm a big fan of your music, and
Thank
you're one of the greats, in my opinion. And you got a new record coming out, I understand, October the 5th. Is that right?
That's right.
And I went on Spotify and listened to, is it called Stupid Kids?
It is.
That's a good song, man.
Thank you.
It's got some, and I mean this in a good way, it's got some anger in it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and just what little research I did, there's some things you want to say that's heavy on your heart.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little idea of what your thought is on it?
Well, you know, and that Stupid Kid song is a perfect example. It was, you know, I have two stupid kids of my own that are 11 and 8.
Join the club.
You know, you see these really amazing things in young minds, and you see the way that they approach the world and the way that they think about things. And I think as adults, we have a tendency to write that off and go, you know, the kids, they don't know what they're doing. Or, you know, I watched these kids in Parkland after their friends were shot and killed, really trying to do something and trying to say something. And you know, when I look back, it was, you know, all of these social changes that have ever happened to benefit our country were kind of always rooted in kids and young people, that the next generation always told them they were stupid. You know, you sit and be quiet.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and I remember even as a younger kid, you know, that you would get that from other musicians, you know, when you were coming up, you know, would tell you, well, you can't do it like that. You know, you got to do it this way. You don't know what you're doing. And there's a part of me that's always been really frustrated by that. And so that was what that song was about. And then the other ones are just sort of frustrations on, you know, what's happening in our country right now and trying to find some sort of path through it.
Well, that's awesome that you do that. That kind of shows that you ain't just, you know, one of them cookie cutter guys. Yeah. But
No.
On another note, I understand that you had a big success with a couple of your songs.
Yeah.
One was you had a song with the Eli Young band.
Uh-huh.
Is that correct?
That
That
was.
must have been cool.
That was a real nice gift.
It was a good trip to the mailbox.
It
wasn't
was.
It? That's
Yeah, there was
good,
a handful
man.
of them.
That's
you know,
good.
and that was great. That was one of those songs that I had written and put on a record of mine. And, you know, we've done this long enough. You're a lifer like me. And, you know, there's a point where people always tell you, for years, it was like, you know, you're just one song away. You know,
Yeah.
you got to have that one song. And
Yeah.
when I wrote and recorded Even If It Breaks Your Heart, all of the powers that be said, you know, this is the one. And we recorded it and put it out as
For
a
you-
single
for you.
me.
Yeah.
And it went straight to the nowhere bin, you know, and it was fine. But
you
then,
didn't have the right kind of mousse in your
yeah,
hair.
that's exactly right.
That's where you made your mistake.
And then so it was interesting to see what the right mousse will do.
I know it. Those guys, well, the Eli Young,
Yeah.
they were able to get that.
And they heard it on the radio, so it was really a cool thing. There's a great station here in town called Lightning 100 that did play the song quite a bit.
yeah.
And those guys heard it and recorded it, and it was a big hit. So
That's
I guess
awesome.
the people were right. It was just like you say, I had
That's
the
great.
wrong face. So.
No, you got the look. Everybody knows that. But that's cool, man. And you had another song that that had some success with a car commercial
Yeah,
of all
so
things.
Chevrolet was here looking for a song for an ad campaign for their Silverado when they were launching the new campaign in 2014. And I had written that song and just recorded an iPhone demo of it, and somehow one of the other guys I'd written with's publisher had played it for him, and they said they wanted the song, and then they were going to use a bunch of big name artists, and there was a lot of different talk, which was fine with me, but then they asked if I'd do it, and so we cut the demo of it, and they liked that and ended up just using the
That is
the
awesome.
song.
That's one of them, you can't plan them kind of things.
No, and it really is.
Yeah.
It just sort of reigns in your life. I mean, I was actually driving. I had a rental van and had my wife and kids on the way to our beach vacation in Florida. And they called, and it needed to happen real fast.
That's awesome.
And, I just kept saying I can't, and they kept making it more impossible to say no.
That's awesome. Well, the obvious question is on my mind. Did they give you a car?
I got a brand new Chevy Silverado.
You did?
I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You
out
still
pretty
got
well.
it? You still got it?
No, I just sold it. You know, I
Was it one of them big ones?
not like a big diesel dually kind of thing. It was a medium sized, but it was a crew cab. You know, the family could go in it. I did some
awesome.
solo touring in it, and then I drove by CarMax one day, and I thought, I wonder if they'll give me any money for this, and they did. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I also got the wind whispered in my ear that you had a tattoo of a scooter or something.
Of a
you had an accident
I
or something.
did. Yeah.
Would you mind talking about that?
Yeah, I was. It's been 10 years ago now. Was working over here in Nashville on Belmont at Sound Emporium on a record, and was leaving to go home to East Nashville. And I had a motor scooter that I rode at that point, and I got about 7 blocks from here. Got hit head on by a 15-passenger van.
Oh my Lord!
And so that laid me up for about a year.
It hurt you
Lots
pretty
of-
good.
It did. It broke pretty much everything. I'm like evil. I was like Evil Knievel all at once. So where he spread those out over years.
I've still got my stunt cycle.
Do you really? The one that
Still
you
got it,
wound
yeah.
up?
Some of my friends, when they come over, we'll have a few drinks and we'll see who can jump the most encyclopedias.
I tried to explain to my kids. I still want one of those. Like we used to play with those all the time when I was a kid, and you still have it.
I still got it.
I've never been more jealous.
I've actually put it in a china cabinet next to some of my
To be
70s,
displayed?
Next to some of my 70s
Goes with that
lunch
shirt.
boxes. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. But I'm excited about your new record. I only heard the one song.
Yeah.
Is there anything you could play off the new record?
Sure.
Can we do that?
We can totally do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Well, Deb, what are we playing? You got any ideas? Cool. Yeah, so this is a song from the new record. It's called Still a Southern Man. There's a flag flying overhead, and I used to think it meant one thing. Now I've grown up, seen the world, and I know what it really means. Wanted it to be the symbol of a boy who wasn't scared to take a stand. But now I know it's just a hammer driving nails in a coffin of a long dead land. Oh, and I can't take it anymore. But I'm still a southern man. Don't want your stars and bars and your blood on my damn hands. I'm looking away now, Dixie, 'cause I've seen all I can stand. But I'm still a southern man. The line really ain't that thin between heritage and hate. One saying yes ma'am and thank you, making sure you pull your own weight. Others, what's happened when you try to hold down anybody that ain't just like you? You can call it what you want, but it's a goddamn shame, and I'm glad I finally see the truth. Oh, I can finally see the truth. But I'm still a southern man. Don't want your stars and bars and your blood on my damn hands. I'm looking away now, Dixie, 'cause I've seen all I can stand. But I'm still a southern man. Say, where's your rebel pride, boy? I'm sorry, mister, it's all gone. That flag ain't never led to one thing good. Oh, I can't wait to tear it down. But I'm still a southern man. Oh, I'm still a southern
everybody. That's awesome, man.
Sir,
I can't wait to hear the whole record.
I can't wait to get you
It's
a copy.
it's October the 5th.
October
is
the
that
5th,
right?
yeah.
And it's called
My
My American
American Dream.
Dream.
That's
I
right.
like that. I like it. I like it. And the other thing I was want to touch on was you have kids, right?
I do,
As you've
yeah.
been talking about. And you have to be away from them a lot, just like me.
Yeah.
And I understand you got like an 8-week run coming up.
Yeah, it starts next week. Starts on Monday in D.C. And
That's tough, man.
It is.
That's
you know?
tough. I mean,
How old are yours?
My oldest one's 25. She's married and gone, but my youngest one's 14. And people that don't do this don't know what it's like. But I'm sure you've pulled out of your driveway with tears coming down out of your eyes more than once.
Yeah, and it gets harder. It goes in these weird cycles. There's a point when they're real young. It's really about you missing them more than anything else. They don't know. They're just glad you show back up.
Right.
And then there's a point where they're kind of too young. They know that they miss you, but they're too young to understand why.
Right.
And that's okay. Now with 14 with yours and 11 and 8 with mine, they're really to a point where they can start to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that makes it even harder too.
It does, because it leaves a void in their life.
And they know it, and then they can tell you. I mean, they can really express, not in angry ways, but just to tell you, to be able to go, Dad, I hate when you're not here. That's a heartbreaker every time.
It is. I bet you I'm right about this. I bet when you're home, though, you're really present.
Yeah, I really try to be. And I think that is one of the great things about this job, is that when you're off, there's a point where you can just truly be off, and I can do the stuff at school, and I can do soccer practices and all those things.
There's nothing more thrilling, and you'll relate to this, than dropping your kids off at school.
It's the best.
It's the heaven. It's heaven on earth.
It really is. And watching them when they really start to blossom and find their own.
Yeah.
Like my oldest boy has joined the school band, and he's playing the euphonium, which is an instrument I didn't even know existed.
I don't even know
2
what
weeks
it
ago.
is.
I didn't either.
What is it?
It's kind of like a mini tuba, but it plays it keys like a trumpet. But he thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. And
I
to
know
watch
what
him,
you're talking about now,
he drags that big old thing into school every day and just thinks he's
That's awesome.
the best. It's great, man. And then what we do for a living is cool, because you also, man, I didn't see the West Coast or Europe until I was in my late 20s or early 30s, and now being able to do this and occasionally get the wife and kids out on the road, like they did the European tour with us last year.
That's awesome.
So to get to have kids that get to come and see that at that young age.
So how many years you been married?
10.
10. I've been married 19.
Congratulations.
But anyway, I just want to say I've really enjoyed having you.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I wish you much success. You're one of the best out there.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And good luck with your kids, man.
Likewise, and I hope our paths cross soon.
I do too. Check out Will Hoge. He's got a new record, My American Dream. It's gonna blow up. See y'all next time.
Hell yeah. That was